So the Walton Arts Center started as a dream of many people from our community who envisioned a place where arts and culture would have a full-time home. And Miss Helen Walton gave the initial gift to the university, and along with a lot of other donations, the Walton Arts Center was born in 1992.
I had known Helen Walton in other areas, but her love in life was the symphony and music and a place to have that.
When I came here, it was city and university owned. The board was made up of only city and university people. And we decided early on that we had to fix that it had to be regional because, Mrs. Walton, Mr. Walton was still in the picture then, and they both said, we're not going to do one of these in every city in Northwest Arkansas, this better be regional. So they were proponents of the whole concept of not Fayetteville, not university, but all of Northwest Arkansas. And in order to help us with that, she did a series of dinner parties in her home, inviting their friends in the Bentonville and in Benton County area to get on board this project and to support it.
Mr. Walton called me and said, Dickie Ray said, Miss Helen's going to start help raise money for this new art center in Fayetteville, and it's going to be regional. You need to help her. Will you help her? And I said, yes, sir, I'll be glad to help her.
It was a much different time in Northwest Arkansas and Fayetteville in the late 80s and early 90s. Even if we weren't quite sure what an art center could mean, there was universal acclaim, we should have something. Now, opinions would vary on what that meant, what it should be, who should be able to book the venue and things like that, where it should be. But even then we knew we were growing, and we didn't have a venue. You had Barnhill Arena for big concerts, but you didn't have anything like the Walton Arts Center in all of Northwest Arkansas.
We started planning this really actively in 1987.
The city had a tax that had been imposed called a hotel and motel tax, and it had accrued to more money than they really imagined that it would, around $4 million somewhere. So the city formed an ad hoc committee made up of people interested in the arts.
If there were going to be a performing arts center, we felt like it needed to be close to the university, close to downtown.
I think the basic reason is with the tie with the city and the tie with the University of Arkansas, they were wanting to clean up Dixon Street from the university to downtown.
At that stage, everybody wanted to be out on North College and nobody wanted to be on Dixon Street. Dixon Street was a very rough place. First year that I opened in 1980, there was 3 murders on Dixon Street. One of them right outside my back door, and so it was a rough place.
That was the biggest question that we got when I got here was, why are you building it on Dixon Street? I don't go there after dark.
I don't think even the most generous person would say it was thriving economically. I know there are nostalgic types who miss those days, but if we're to be honest, it was not a thriving economic district in the least.
The block that the Walton Arts Center sits on had 17 property owners, so we bought 17 parcels to put that block back together. So 4 had occupancy, the rest were all empty. That tells you what Dixon Street was like at that point.
The saving grace for Dixon Street and downtown Fayetteville was the creation of the Walton Arts Center on Dixon Street. And it kind of created a link between the University, Dixon Street, and the square that worked well for everybody.
People were really nervous about it, but there was a good cadre of people who came regularly and came often, and they supported the businesses that were still on Dixon. There were a handful that stayed through all the downturn and were still here when it came back up.
We finally opened in 1992. It was just spectacular.
Well, there were 2 parts to the grand opening. One was much like what they're doing for the reopening, an all-day, multiple stages going, lots of performers and local groups were going all day long. We'd also built a stage out on what was then Tyson Plaza.
You wanted to be there because it was momentous. Here was a $25 million investment, co-funded by the town, the university. It was just something that all came together.
We wanted to make it joyful and fun and very representative of the communities that were involved. And each community came with their representatives to form a group up front to represent everybody in the area and to make sure that they felt it was theirs and owners of it as well. We had a ribbon cutting, and Mrs. Walton came, and she was so excited on that day because it was really a culmination and a dream come true for her.
The Walton Arts Center brought traffic to Dixon Street. I think it gave people confidence that they could come here and it was safe to come down to Dixon Street. And I think that from that, all these businesses that are here now began to look at it as a possibility for their location.
The dream was big, maybe too big, but we had to think that way. in order to pare it down to be what we could afford. Money always is the driving force, I think.
It was pretty early that the administration and management of the early Walton Arts Center's days realized we're growing as a region and we're going to need more room.
In the process of building, we're running out of money and we had to cut the size of the building down some, and the classrooms were eliminated. So when Bob McBride started talking to us about he needed to move out of the downtown setting, we ended up acquiring that building in a sort of a trade out, and they got a naming opportunity in the building. And we picked it up for almost no cash on hand, and then we're able to renovate it to make up for all those things that we had cut out of the main building.
And you've seen that continue with the AMP and other things, like the campus has expanded.
The AMP got started by a gentleman named Dan White. He was one of the VPs at Tyson, and he missed having concerts in the summer when he grew up out in New York. And so he actually purchased the big tent and started the AMP, and they ran it for 3 years until I purchased it from them. We were fortunate to have it supported well when we were just a tent in the mall parking lot. And I was excited about the success that we were having, but I knew that as a private owner, we wouldn't have the ability to get as much buy-in from the corporate community and the sponsors that support it now, or like the generous donation of the land that Ms. Hunt gave for us to build where we're at. And I knew that it wasn't going to grow anymore if I didn't have a chance to pass it off to an entity like the Walton Arts Center. George's was one of the first people they ever partnered with when we did a concert series. And then they purchased the AMP from me and my then partner, Susie Stevens, with the intent to build a permanent facility and go from just being a tent in a parking lot. So doing that, we were able to have the dream and vision that we would be able to build it and go as grand as we did. So I signed on 6 years ago for a 5-year deal, and now I've re-upped for another 3, and it's kind of hard to believe that I've been with the AMP for 10 years now and the Walton Arts Center for 6. My hope is that it continues to serve and program to the diversity of our community while I'm running it, and hopefully long after I am. And I think it's been an amazing first 3 years in this new building that we have, and people have really enjoyed it, and not just our concerts, community events that we've been able to host. My hope is that it just, we're able to maintain the level of success that we have so far from a commercial standpoint, because, the money that we make at the AMP goes to help fund all the arts and education programs that happen at the Walton Arts Center.
So education has always been a cornerstone of what Walton Arts Center does. Seeing yellow school buses outside the Walton Arts Center was always part of the original vision. And so it's something that we hold very dear to the work that we do. The Colgate Classroom Series is the way that we reach out to every child in Northwest Arkansas. The Colgate Classroom Series invites school groups to come see live performance on our stages, and we bring artists from all over the world, really opening the door to Northwest Arkansas's students. Walton Arts Center has participated in research with University of Arkansas, and we're discovering a lot about what students get from attending live performance. And so some of the things that we found, that kids who participate over time with Walton Arts Center, so kids that get to see live performance in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, that they're different from kids that aren't given that access. We found that these kids that have the arts in their life are more likely to read for pleasure. They're more likely to have an ongoing interest in the arts. They're more likely to be interested in the things that are going on in school, more academically interested, and then also have more empathy and compassion for other people. For many kids, if they don't come with their class, they don't get to come and experience live performance. And so being able to learn outside the walls of the classroom is really important.
The Arts with Education Institute is the AWE Institute, and it's awesome.
Arts with Education Institute was actually the very first program of Walton Arts Center. That institute continues today. We teach teachers how to use the arts across the curriculum. So whether you're a language arts teacher, whether you teach history, whether you teach science, the arts can be important to your classroom.
We work with thousands of teachers each year to bring their students to field classes in the performing arts, to train them to use arts integrated practices so that they help their children use the discipline of the visual or performing arts to help their students read better, understand more, communicate better, and show what they know. The use of arts in learning literacy, social studies, history, or science is extremely helpful to build skills in young learners and then to help that young learner work collaboratively and creatively with their team to help show and share what they know.
Teachers told us that teaching Arkansas history was difficult, and we knew that the arts could help. And so, working with partners like Trike Theatre, we put together a series of different performances where we use performing arts to help kids better understand and to better appreciate Arkansas history.
The production of 3 great performances at all grade levels. It includes Bare State of Mind, Digging Up Arkansas, and other performances that help students be proud of their state, know more about their state, remember where we came from, think about where we're going, and take pride in the things that make Arkansas great. And that's what Arkansas History Through the Arts does.
Well, the Walton Arts Center is one of, if not the largest cultural assets in the region. So it's incumbent upon us to constantly be reaching out to our other cultural partners to collaborate, to support each other, to find ways to engage audiences in a new and different way, to increase the audience, and to be as relevant as we can on a daily basis and to make sure that arts is part of the general appetite of the community. That it's not just an event you go to, but it becomes part of a way of life.
We perform 6 concerts a year at Walton Arts Center. Live classical music connects us to different cultures and different time periods, and music, once it's written, of course, stays on the page, so it needs human people to bring it to life, and it needs an audience to realize its full value, not just someone playing in an empty room. Walton Arts Center is an ideal venue for us. It fits us physically, on stage, backstage, and the acoustics are very flattering for a variety of musical art, and it's a great place to be a patron as well. As a resident company, Walton Arts Center provides us with guidance and support and infrastructure that is very important to our success. It's very hard for an orchestra to run itself and manage a building, and it's very hard for a building to manage an orchestra or a theater company. We're where we are because of their support.
Walton Arts Center rents the space to the Community Creative Center, and in 2008 they started offering hands-on studio arts classes in clay, ceramics, pottery, painting, drawing, all kinds of hands-on studio arts. It's a maker space. All ages, you can be a beginner or you can be highly qualified and come and take a class here. One of our most successful collaborations is a program called Stage to Studio. Their team brings in 50,000 kids from all over Northwest Arkansas to participate in their Colgate Classroom Series. They'll reach out to the schools in the area that have high free and reduced lunch, that are high need, low income schools. The kids will come see a show, then they'll come across the street, we'll feed them lunch here, and then they'll do a hands-on studio art workshop that's based upon what they saw over there. Over the past couple years, we have been able to expand our reach. We have great support from the Walton Arts Center, but we also have great support from community members and foundations, and we've been able to reach out to underserved parts of our community, both adults and children. We've been able to reach out to more schools, people who are looking for something to do with their families. We have a Family Friday where families come down and they are together and they're doing fun things. It is so rewarding for people to come and just be together and doing the arts.
Well, Theater Squared was a very good idea, hatched around a dinner table at the home of Bob Kohler. Basically, he sat down with Bob Ford and Amy Herzberg, having invited them to dinner at their home, and said, "You've talked about wanting to start a professional theater. What's it going to take to actually do that?"
And Amy said, "We need a space. We need a space that was dedicated to theater and to this theater." And within a few days, Bob Kohler had called back and said, "Found you a space."
Where they ended up was right here at Walton Arts Center's Nadium Baum Studios.
And it's been amazing. It's been perfect. It has created part of our identity. This intimacy, this relationship, this kind of wide space where everyone gets to be close to the stage is because of what can fit in Nadine Baum Studios' studio theater. The Walton Arts Center has left kind of a permanent imprint on Theater Squared in that way, in that the physical space.
And our audience loves the intimacy. Honestly, the Walton Arts Center has been our most valuable partner since day one, and even as we move towards a permanent facility across the street, they're going to continue to be.
It was waiting to happen, and we just happened to be here to make it happen.
I started Trike Theatre in 2008. Trike Theatre is a professional theater for young audiences, which means that we do three things. That's why the Trike has three wheels. The first thing is we produce theater for youth, which is adults performing for children. So we hire professional actors, hire professional designers, directors, everybody to be able to produce quality, amazing theater that is locally produced for young audiences and families. And then we also, our second wheel is our academy program, and that's where our kids are doing theater. They're taking classes, they're in the youth productions. So it's see, do, and then also learn through. And so the learning through is our outreach, and we have a partnership with the Walton Arts Center to be able to do that as well. When I was thinking about starting Trike Theatre, I immediately went to Laura Goodwin and asked her what her thoughts were, and she and I instantly began to collaborate about what we could do with Walton Arts Center education program. Even before I got my 501c3, we were already collaborating. It's been a wonderful partnership because the Walton Arts Center has been a dreamer like us. As partners, we've brought our strengths. They have been able to fundraise and market and get schools to come to see the show, and we've been able to hire the artists and the playwrights and the actors and direct and design shows that are completely innovative and immersive and new for the audience.
Welcome to the Walton Arts Center's grand reopening. Hello folks, I'm Peter Lane, President and CEO. On behalf of all of us, we're so delighted to finally be at this point. 3 years ago, the citizens of Fayetteville voted yes to help finance this much needed expansion and renovation of your Walton Arts Center. And many of you helped with the campaign here today, and we thank you for launching the first phase of that major fundraising effort. For 25 years, the Walton Arts Center has served our community, and today the curtain rises as we celebrate our grand reopening. This renovation will allow us to serve more patrons with more shows and offer more events. We have so many new spaces for you to enjoy while attending concerts, Broadway shows, education programs, festival events, Artisphere and Art Voice Jam.
This facility is the cornerstone of our city's theater arts district. The arts in Fayetteville have a profound impact on our quality of life, and the Walton Arts Center is an economic driver whose contributions have exceeded all of our expectations.
As governor, I recognize that this is something that's important to our quality of life. The arts add something every day to a new perspective, to enhancing your creative talent in your community, to expression, to creativity. And without the arts, there's a void in our community life, there's a void in the state. And people notice that. My job is to recruit industry, jobs, and to promote this state. And with the millennials, with those who look not just at a job, but what the environment is in the community, they look at the arts. And to be able to showcase the Walton Arts Center, the AMP, and other venues across this state is an attraction to those that want to come and look at Arkansas as a place for investment. So I want to congratulate the citizens of Fayetteville for your vote. I want to congratulate the leadership of the city and all of the patrons of the arts, as well as the Walton Family Foundation, for this incredible venue that we'll all enjoy. I've been here before, I'll be back. Let's enjoy the arts together. Thank you.
Hi, Lane. Welcome. Let me show you what's new.
All right.
This is our new production facilities, and it was built with the city and the Walton Arts Center, and it's what allows us to do everything we do back of house. Our new wardrobe room and makeup gives us tremendous opportunities to handle most of the shows that are out on the road today. Of course, laundry is really critical. Between every show, they're cleaning everything they wear. But this hallway is filled with cases and trunks, but it's space that we never had before. So for us, it's been terrific. And on our left, we have a place where our crew can now do all of their work, cut all their gels and set up all their lighting. And on this side, we can store instruments, so we can leave them here for Sona as well as for the use of the Walton Arts Center. Down here, we've got administrative and production offices. So this is our staff and crew lounge, something we've never had. We're actually about 20 feet below ground, but it allows us a place for our crew when they get here very early in the morning to set up a show. When they're not pushing boxes, they can come in and have breakfast, run out, do the rehearsal, come back in and use it pretty much 24/7. So it's a great space for us. And welcome to the Sudduth Garden Room, a new space that allows us to do so many different things, mostly serve our donors, but also have private events and special pre-concert opportunities or post. For me, the beauty is being able to look out and look at this garden, which has been so underutilized and now will be a focal point of this room. So we can open the doors and look at the beautiful art and just have a great space that can be used for all kinds of things. One of my favorite rooms here at the Walton Arts Center is our new piano storage. And why is because we house two incredible pianos, one that we've had a long time that we've just completely restored, and this we sent to Steinway so it could be completely restored, and we use this for jazz and contemporary music, but also the newest one in the back there, we went to the Steinway factory to pick it out. So we built a room that has humidity control, and they live in here, and they'll live here all the time for all the artists that come, and got a great sound. But that's all I know. So having two pianos actually allows us to do something we've never been able to do, which is put two pianos in two of our halls, both in Star Theatre, now in Baum-Walker Hall, and have concerts going on at the same time. We will be functioning as a two-theater complex, which is how we were built in the first place. But it's because of all the production work that you've seen that allows us to actually be able to run two theaters now at the same time. So very special for us. So welcome to the new Star Theatre. Our 1/3 larger. We can go up to 265 people. But what is brand new, obviously this last summer we put in the new seating, which is telescopic. So you can put 3 rows out or 9 or go all the way like this, and it just is the most flexible theater space in all of Arkansas, quite frankly. Whether you want to do dances here, push the seats back and do concerts in the round, or circus acts, education program, rehearsals for the symphony, and it's just a great space. The window allows us to do things such as have an open event, like, or at nighttime put sparkly lights outside and do things, or you can close it up. We have a shade that comes all the way down and blackens out. So it's a very special space that I think will be probably the most utilized in the whole building.
The ultimate, I think, compliment for Walton Arts Center is when you talk about some of these other things that are recent additions like Crystal Bridges or the Razorback Greenway, a lot of people now don't mention Walton Arts Center because it is now moved from that new place to that place that hasn't always been here? Wasn't it just here? And then you've been successful. I don't think that means people take it for granted, but it's just like, oh, this is part of us now. And I think it will be for at least another 25 years, probably another 100.
My hope for the future of the Walton Arts Center is that they continue to bring in amazing performances that we would never have an opportunity to see, that continues to inspire and feed us and challenge us in ways and bring us together as a community.
Walton Arts Center will continue to contribute greatly to the culture of Northwest Arkansas, beginning with the kids up to mature folks like me who go.
So when I look at 25 years of arts and culture in Northwest Arkansas, it's incredible to me to see the impact that the Walton Arts Center has had on so many different people.
With the Walton Arts Center down here, then the attraction for other businesses like mine and my neighbors down here goes up tremendously. You take those guys out of the picture, then we're just another street.
When we see shows take place in the entertainment district, we see our restaurants full, we see our bars frequented after the event, we see our parking in our decks and our surface lots full. We see an energy in the district that is more than it's like when they don't have something going on at the center.
It's one of the crown jewels of the city. It just pulls a community together. It's one of the great part of the great tapestry of this city.
To be able to have access to the world's artists is such a special thing, especially when you consider a community of our size. And so to live and grow up in Northwest Arkansas is an incredible experience because of how much arts are available to us and how accessible they are.
It's what brings fun. It's what brings cultural engagement. It's what brings an entirely creative, innovative atmosphere to our region.
Life without the arts, if you really think about it and you took that all away, what would it be? It would be survival. The arts help us celebrate, appreciate, understand who we are as human beings.
It defines Northwest Arkansans, I think. It helps to define who we are. Along with the Razorbacks, the trails, the walkways, I mean, Walton Arts Center is defining, really is.
I don't think you can explain how important it is. Think about the difference between Northwest Arkansas from 1989 to now. The pieces of infrastructure we have now that we can't imagine being without. Bobby Hopper Tunnel, linking the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Crystal Bridges, downtown Bentonville's revitalization. XNA, the Greenway. All of that came after the Walton Arts Center. Walton Arts Center was the first place that thought regionally. It began us thinking of us as a region and working together. I think it really did help blast through some of these imaginary boundaries we had between towns and counties. A lot of things have done that since, but Walton Arts Center was first.
The thing that strikes me most about the Walton Arts Center is the broader community of arts and culture in Northwest Arkansas. And this campaign for $23 million was a big step for us, but it was successful because everybody participated. It was about how the community saw the value of what we do, the impact that we make every day, and they locked arms, jumped together, and I think we here at the Walton Arts Center are so proud of what this great facility means to our community and to the residents and all the folks that use it day in and day out. So we're so thankful for everybody's support and participation.